Biggest reason you can't heal your joint pain is because you think about it all wrong. To heal pain with movement, you first have to unlearn 3 limiting beliefs. The first belief is that pain is bad. Pain isn't bad. It's how our body differentiates between normal, adaptable, and excessive levels of sensation. Normal sensation is what our body's already adapted to. Think about sunbathing. When it's 80 degrees out and the sky is clear, feels perfect. That perfect feeling is our body signaling a level of sensation, specifically temperature, that falls within our comfort zone. Not too cold, not too hot, just right. That's normal sensation. But if the temperature suddenly rose to 90 degrees, sunbathing would still feel good to many, but for some, it would start to get a bit uncomfortable. For these people, their bodies are signaling adaptable sensation, something that is slightly outside their comfort zone, meaning that with consistent, gradual exposure, these same people can learn to tolerate 90-degree heat and become just as comfortable sunbathing in it as they were at 80 degrees. There's limits to our adaptability, though, obviously. If it suddenly shot up to 200 degrees, no more sunbathing. Your skin would start frying like bacon and you would run away screaming. That's excessive sensation, meaning too much sensation to adapt to. What we call pain is just the border between adaptable and excessive sensation. If we can learn to successfully navigate this border, we can control our body's adaptability like turning a dial up or down. When we apply this understanding to healing joints, which use mechanical sensation as the trigger to healing, pain stops being bad and becomes a guide that we can follow. The next belief to unlearn is, if it hurts, I shouldn't do it. This sounds logical, but in truth, it contradicts the physiology of tissue repair. Mechanical loading, aka weight-bearing activity, is the sensation our body uses to repair and regrow tissues like tendons and cartilage. While excessive loading from things like sports and heavy weightlifting can cause damage, avoiding load actually prevents remodeling and leads to further dysfunction until surgery is the only option left. The solution is to rebuild loading capacity gradually. Start with light, slow, eccentric movement, staying at or below a 3 out of 10 pain level. Then hold the position as an isometric at the point where your pain begins for up to 5 to 10 seconds at a time, and then carefully exit the position. This stimulates blood and synovial fluid flow to the weakest part of the position, helping it repair and adapt incrementally. But first, you have to change your belief from, if it hurts, I shouldn't do it, to, if it hurts, I must do it, but differently in order to build it back. The final belief to unlearn, which is really more of a behavior, is to stop saying every unpleasant sensation hurts. Labeling any kind of discomfort, whether it's muscle soreness or fatigue or a deep stretch, as hurting frames it negatively, leading to avoidance. Soreness is just a sign of tissue repair and adaptation. It's a good thing. Instead of doing a workout and worrying that you hurt yourself the next day just because you're sore, simply acknowledge it as soreness and know that you can facilitate your recovery with light, expansive movement centered on those sore areas. This flushes the lymph of waste acids and reduces chronic contraction of the recovering muscles. Fatigue, that burning sensation of tiring muscles, is necessary to trigger muscle and collagen synthesis for joint healing. Stopping an exercise prematurely because the fatigue is getting a little uncomfortable seriously limits its effectiveness. Instead of saying your fatigue hurts, just say, I'm getting tired, and start preparing to exit the position carefully. Now, when something genuinely does hurt, meaning it feels like something other than soreness, fatigue, stretching, resistance, or some other type of mechanical sensation, still don't just say it hurts. Describe it. Is it sharp or dull? In one point or along a line? Where is that line? Is it in the front, the side, the back? How intense is it? Is it a 2 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10? And at which point in the movement did it occur? Detailed observation like this helps you create an inner map of your pain, which then allows you to start noticing very small, very subtle micro improvements in your function. Failing to notice these little micro wins leads a lot of people to give up before they should, thinking their training isn't working when it actually is. Let's use squatting for an example. Let's say I have a knee injury and I'm using squats to gauge my progress. So I test my knee's loading capacity with one slow eccentric squat and hit sharp 3 out of 10 pain in the injured knee across the entire kneecap at 80 degrees of knee flexion. Then 2 weeks later, I do the same test, but now I hit a slightly duller pain at just below 90 degrees of knee flexion and only on the medial side of the kneecap, not all the way across. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't a big jump in knee function, but it's still proof of healing. Proof I wouldn't have been aware of if I had just said, well, both sessions hurt, and just left it at that. Changing these 3 beliefs about pain's nature, about the role of loading, and how you describe sensation is essential for long-term joint repair. If you learned a lot from this video, give it a like and please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel and it helps you change your algorithm so you get more information about healing your pain. Next time, we'll talk about 3 distinct types of pain, how they interact, and how you can use this knowledge to heal yourself with movement even faster. See you then.